It was an issue front and center during the presidential race. Donald Trump rallied against so-called sanctuary cities, communities that refuse to enforce federal immigration law. Now, Congressman Vern Buchanan is supporting legislation to financially penalize sanctuary cities. And ABC 7's Adam Cellini joins us with more. Adam.
Yeah, well, Alan, some would say there are multiple sanctuary communities right in our part of the state, and one of our local institutions was just recently pulled into the debate. As the Trump train inches closer to the White House, some fear one of his campaign promises is equally close to fruition.
We will end the sanctuary cities that have resulted in so many needless deaths.
Sanctuary cities are those with policies in place protecting undocumented immigrants from federal immigration authorities.
Cities that refuse to cooperate with federal authorities will not receive taxpayer dollars.
200 to 300 sanctuary cities, counties, and states are estimated to exist in the U.S. And some had a message for their new commander-in-chief just days after the election.
We stand united and we will help protect all of our immigrant families in this city.
To be clear about what Chicago is, it always will be a sanctuary city.
In Tampa, a group of undocumented residents begged Mayor Bob Buckhorn to do the same, but he hasn't responded. Last week, Jimena Pedroza petitioned New College administration to make their campus a safe haven.
We might have an influx of undocumented students that might benefit from this next year. So regardless of whether there are students that would benefit from this or not, it should still be a thing that we need to discuss.
At age 12, Pedroza watched Immigration and Customs Enforcement deport her brother back to Mexico after she and her mother earned U.S. citizenship.
It's one thing to read about families that are separated, that are forcibly separated because of Border Patrol, because of ICE, and to be a part of those numbers. It really takes a toll on not just that one person that was deported, but on the whole family.
New College says they will maintain their commitment to non-discrimination and protecting students' confidential records as required by law. But local Congressman Vern Buchanan wants to add laws to make this difficult. He's pushing 2 anti-sanctuary city bills in Washington, one that would cut federal funding to communities where law enforcement refuses to work with immigration officers.
A lot of these people, if they're here illegally, they need to go back. They need to work with federal authorities. And a lot of these cities and counties aren't, but yet they're taking taxpayer money.
That may include Pinellas and Hillsborough counties, where sheriffs refuse to detain illegals with no warrant from ICE agents, considering it unreasonable search and seizure under the Fourth Amendment.
I think everybody has a right, but I don't see anybody that's here illegally having any rights. They need to go back, and we have federal laws, and we're going to try to enforce those laws.
Sarasota immigration attorney Anthony Olson says that may be easier said than done. Congress can only impose conditions for federal money if they reasonably relate to the purpose of those funds, which may prove tricky for immigration.
There's a disconnect between if the funding that they're using as the leverage is for infrastructure projects, it's not in any way related to immigration enforcement.
Aside from overreach, he says forcing local law enforcement to detain immigrants on the spot could also end up hurting future investigations.
If they're constantly afraid that the local police are going to just hand them over to the immigration authorities, I think that creates a real problem of enforcing the criminal laws. I think it's more of a question of values and of basic human rights and protection of people's dignity.
So, Alan, New College has not publicly declared themselves a sanctuary campus, but Pedroza tells us that subsequent meetings with administration have been very positive.
Adam, thank you.